how do we create this energy of calmness around us, but also from within, that when we have those situations, they're approaching and we know they're approaching and they're making us so stressful. The thought of them is just making us so stressed and we don't know what we're going to do because we maybe have so much anxiety, and the anxiety feels like it's going to go through the roof. And what do? How do we get to that state of starting to be calm, to create this energy that our calmness is going to own the situation as opposed to the situation owning us? And it may feel rather odd, especially if you are somebody who is finding that they have been anxious for a very long time. That can be very challenging at the beginning to get into that stage, but I'll give you some tips on how you can start to approach this and how I have done it for myself. The main thing is it needs to start from within us. Internally, it needs to be planted there. The seed needs to be planted so it can grow and be embodied inside of us, and then it can start to expand and be projected outwards. So how do we start with this? Is knowing from, rather than just looking at it physically, first think about it internally. Where am I internally? Have a battle inside of me? Do I feel unrest? I feel uneasy? I feel stressful? So the thing is, you don't want to force yourself to be in a particular energy because it kind of shows. We do notice it and we feel off. It feels off. People feel that energy. It speaks. And it's similar to if you were to see yourself when you have to be calm in a stressful situation, or you have to not react and you're forcing yourself. You're so forcing yourself to not say anything. It's that kind of tightness. It's like holding you down and it's ready to burst basically, but you're trying to keep that lid on. But that energy, that feeling, I'm sure we can all relate to, it's that kind of very forceful energy. It feels tight, it feels rigid. It doesn't allow us to sit back and relax. So how do we be in this space when we're in those moments and we feel like, why can't I be that calm person? We have a lot of things that interfere with us. So it will be the thoughts that jump into our heads and start thinking, what do I need to say? What do I need to do? How am I going to be judged? How am I being perceived as? And even the emotions of, okay, we might be feeling a little bit tired today. We might be feeling a little bit exhausted, and that's okay. Or we might even be feeling a little bit overexcited, and the excitement is in the head space because we're still thinking about, oh, how do I get everything right? What I need to do, this is all exciting, all this XY, we're future thinking. So that doesn't allow us to be in the body, to be enjoying the excitement and ride on that excitement, but from a calm space. So just to notice what is interfering with your calmness in those moments. So my first point would be, is what are those thoughts that you are thinking that are popping into your head that are not allowing you to feel the calmness? Because either we can try to keep avoiding them and try to embody this calm state of being, but I feel like that's very on the surface. It doesn't allow us to expand and go beyond this. I feel like there's a very limited space that you can play with in this area, and you're going to hit roadblocks. So if you want to be really on a deeper embodiment level of your calmness, then it is to expand it out, and that is by starting at looking at those thoughts, because a lot of people rather say, let's empty the mind and try to sit still. That will bring you your calmness. To be honest, I think that's a bit of a longer process. For somebody who has been an anxious person, I've been for 15 years, and it wasn't possible then for me to just quiet my mind and listen, because the thoughts are faster than light and they are super loud and do not allow me to hear anything, because it goes straight away into a physical reaction of sweating, shaking. Hi, welcome back to my channel. This is Gagandeep here, and if you are resonating with what I'm sharing right now, why not hit like and subscribe and be a part of my YouTube community. I look forward to having you here and I appreciate you being here. Be willing to look at the thoughts that are not allowing you to feel that there is a space of calmness, that your body does not know what peace feels like. It cannot live here in your body cells. It was already there. We've just been shifted out of this pattern of into this hustle and work and stress and everything around us that has thrown us off our usual pattern of how we operate from that level of peace and calmness. So how do we come back to it? How do we find that alignment within ourselves again? And this is where, by knowing what your thoughts are saying, you'll be able to clear that space and not give it over to the panic all the time, because we're giving up so much space trying to avoid listening to those thoughts, but they're taking up all that space. They occupied it, and you have to claim that back by, okay, let's be on the same page and clear these panic thoughts that are not allowing me to be settled and feel like I can be safe, I can just be calm, I can be relaxed in this moment. I don't have to be anywhere, I don't have to do anything, I don't have to chase anything, I'm not falling behind. I'm okay where I am in this moment. Some of you may feel that this is somebody else who's made me feel panicked and stressed. This is their doing. This is the situation they have created, or it's an external situation that's created. Correct, but us hoping that somebody else is going to come and fix this situation because we're not the ones who created it is not going to help us, because we have just added to the creation of the panic thoughts ourselves through our reactive thoughts by blaming it and pushing it across to somebody else and saying, nope, this is their doing. But why give your power over to somebody? Why give your energy over to somebody or some situation? Claim that back, because you're the one who's going to get out of the situation much faster from the way you choose to react. If you are that person, you feel that I'm an anxious person, I cannot be calm, it's so difficult to tune into this because my thoughts are racing and I'm in that physical reaction where it is going through the roof, sweaty palms, my body is shaking, heartbeat is racing, all those things. It just feels like it's creepy crawly under our skins. I'm glad I'm over this, but those who are going through this, we don't feel like we can hear the thoughts. We don't feel like the anxiety is going to listen to us. We want to push it away as far as possible. This is where we start to reverse engineer it by looking at the physical state and doing some breathing and relaxation techniques. Then reverse engineering this into the mental state of what was thought that actually triggered my anxiety to start with. Why is it even showing up? And that will clear the whole thing. So you're not just only doing physical stuff, because a lot of people do find that if I do the physical stuff and then that's it, I'm good, I don't need to do anything. If that helps and you only want to be at that stage, you can do that stage, but I personally have found that it's easier to just clear this whole thing in this way. For the anxious person, you want to feel calm, you want to make your body feel safe where it is right now, so doing the physical part will be important to start with. And then you're able to hear, okay, what are the thoughts? Create that space. You want to create space where your thoughts aren't cluttering and taking up the whole space and they haven't got the mic. If you were to think about it like an arena and the mic is being hugged by anxiety and anxiety is constantly speaking into this mic and it's just echoing everywhere. You want to be able to say, put your anxiety to that calm state so it can put its feet up, be relaxed, so you can hear the other sounds that your body are sharing, what the other things your body wants you to listen to. Get into that state of calmness and it will tell you where you need to tune into. And if I was to share from my own experience, I was very anxious for many years, 15 years, so my body didn't remember what it was to feel calm. It didn't understand to be settled, to be just okay right now without the triggers was too fast for me to catch, and I had to do quite a few things to allow my body to be here, to feel settled, to be so relaxed, to allow myself to breathe, to even talk slower. I'm not sure if I'm still doing that or not, but to talk slowly, to allow myself to breathe deeply and find that there is a space of expansiveness. There is a huge open space and room for me to explore. When we are anxious, we are very rigid and tight and tiptoeing, I find. And for myself, I was always overly cautious, always worried, and still trying to find out how can I be less worried, but it would never work out. I was never able to flip this. So I had to decide, okay, if I want to feel calm and not always be in that panic state where I don't even get a chance to ask my anxiety, can you go on a break today and can I be calm? Just this one moment, just give me that one opportunity. I didn't even get that chance. And so I had to be a little radical to say, okay, let's see what I can do. How can I embody this level of calmness? And even if I did do breathing activities before certain things, they didn't help. That's why I like to reverse engineer to the thoughts that had helped me clear this. But one of the things that I had done was, even just to get myself into that feeling settled, is force myself to sit, even for 5-10 minutes, and do nothing. Because our bodies wants to be somewhere, it wants to race, it wants to chase, it feels like time is running out, I have to be doing work, I have to be doing X, otherwise I'm not productive, I'm losing out, and there's so much time is being wasted if I do not get this done. So we're always chasing, like, oh, I'm missing something, I need to read more, I need to find out more, I need to do this more. We're always chasing. So I had to settle myself, force myself to sit and just do nothing. Just to sit and be. It was the hardest thing to do, I must say. And I would literally even sit on my hands, because the nervousness was just inside of me, under my skin, and it was very dominant. So I had to sit on my hands, and that helped me just to say, nope, I'm not moving. I'm gonna sit here until I feel even that 1% of calmness, and breathe this in and train myself to feel calm. And these are just little things that I had to really get myself out, snap myself out of those moments. I'm not saying that's a technique, but I'm just sharing from my experience to really, what can I do to break myself from this pattern? It's finding ways of how you can train yourself just to be here right now in this moment, because anxiety is all about the future, and it is so worried about your future, and it wants to make sure you're okay. And you have to say that I'm okay, like, let me decide, I'm gonna be okay. I appreciate somebody has my back for my future, but can I be just to sit here and enjoy this moment, because you also planned for me to be here at this moment. So let's enjoy this moment that you planned for me. So we have to train ourselves to be in this space, in this moment. I am here, I am safe right now. And this is actually a positive statement I use quite a bit. I am here and I am safe. That's something you can use as well. That really just allowed me to sit in one place and not feel like, oh no, I should have done this and I should have done this by now. I don't have time to sit and be still. I have to be doing a zillion other things. The mind wants to jump, and you have to be able to say, let's sit together. Let's link arms, and I'm not going to let you go until you've done this with me. See what you need. Honestly, it is about yourself, and there will be techniques that simply make sense, but sometimes, like I do say, it honestly does not have to make sense to anybody else. You need to decide, what do I need right now? And if I need to tweak a few things from something that I've heard somebody's share and make it my own, do it. Because if it works for you, then that's all you need. And you're going to get the results. That's all that matters. If there was one word that people did describe me as, even as an anxious person, was you're calm. And I didn't think that that was possible. Like, how am I giving off this calm energy if I don't even feel calm inside? I have this internal battle. Anxiety is like crashing, and the negative force, everything is just havoc inside, and I don't feel calm at all. But actually, another word they use is patience. And I believe that they were mixing the patience I had with calmness, because I see them now as very different things. It wasn't that I was super calm, that I had this calmness because I was searching for it and the nerves wasn't allowing me to feel this, but I was patient. I knew how to train myself to be patient, and that was probably what was coming across as a calm state of mind. But internally, I knew that I wasn't that calm person. When I started to work on the calmness, there was this huge space that had opened up. It felt like a huge dome space, and it was light, it was clear, there was just a stillness, and there was so much more that I hadn't even realized in this space. Now that all the thoughts have settled, there is no discomfort, there's no internal battle going on, there's no thought popping up and trying to bug me and this negative chatter there. It was all still. And I realized that now I can listen to other things here What else does this space want to show me? What does it want to tell me? And that is a space where your intuition gets to speak, because now we're not driven by this headspace and the thoughts and everything that is trying to tell you and be panicked about your future and try to tell you that, oh, this person might judge you, or you're saying things wrong, or you don't have everything planned out, you're not smart. We're out of that space and now we're into this body space, and this is where your intuition is able to guide you so much more. This calmness is so expansive. It has this richness to it. It's so still, and there's so much power in there that I don't feel like I've even touched the surface of this for myself, but it makes me excited to do so. Because this is where your intuition is going to nudge you, is going to send you guidance, is going to tell you what to do. Where is your best and fastest route to do any healing, to get any answers, to get the shifts and the transformations, to resolve all the problems that you feel that are problems in your life and are stopping you and blocking you, and it feels heavy in your chest. This space feels so good to be in, and this is what is accessible to all of us. You have this space within you when you can clear that black cloud above you and feel that you can sit where you are right now. This calmness is going to speak. This stillness is speaking, and it wants to tell you so much, so much. There's an experience actually that I want to share. When I started to listen to my intuition and through my healing work, I thought, okay, let me see what it has to say to me. It said, go slower. I was like, okay, maybe I had done a lot. I was shifting a lot in a week. Every week was looking very different for me. And it was like a new person every week. So I was very open and just being in that week process and just taking it as a week as went by. So I thought, okay, I guess I'm doing a lot. Everything is going well. There's so much I've achieved. Let's go slower. Okay, it makes sense. I don't need to achieve too much. Let's try to train myself to be where I am right now. And then the following couple of days, and I asked the same question, and it said, go slower. And I'm thinking, are you sure you don't have anything else to say to me? Okay, I'm going to trust. Because at this point, I have built that connection with my intuition. I have to trust it. And then the third time it said go slower, and I thought, darn this, how much slower can I honestly go? This is the level that I have been going so much slower. I've been slowing down. There is no more level that I can possibly go to, but we don't notice it. We don't know what our level of calmness and slowing down looks like, because we're in this stage and we don't see any other stages. So then I followed this and I thought, okay, I've had it 3 times. It doesn't seem to budge. 4th time, I'm not even going to react right now. So then I decided, okay, let's go slower. What does this slowing down mean? What am I not seeing? What am I maybe not allowing myself to see and experience? Let's go full on into this space. And I realized if I had to give it like a ranking, I had gone down at least 8 levels, and everyone's gonna look different, because where you're starting out is going to be very different to where I was starting out. My 8 might even be somebody's 3 steps, and that might be somebody else's 10 steps or 5 steps. It's all about knowing where you are in your own body, and it's unique to you. So there's no need to cross compare. It's just about knowing where you're starting out at. And I didn't realize that me being here, it was impossible for me to see that at week 2 or week 3, because it wasn't open. I wasn't there. I couldn't see this level of depth, of this calmness. This is where I really refer back to what Steve Jobs has said about you can only connect the dots looking back. And this has also helped me to not get stuck in the situation that I am in, and realizing there's no other way, there's no other level for me to grow in, there's no other possibility. It's knowing that I just need to keep moving, and then it's going to make sense when I'm about 5 or 10 steps ahead. So then I could at that moment look back and say, okay, wow, there is a new level of calmness. Thank you, intuition. I cannot see it, but you made me go down this process, and I'm grateful for it, to hear you, to allow me to see this and what I needed to hear. Because I would have thought, okay, I'm at calmness, this is it, I don't need anything else. But then I wouldn't have been able to experience a deeper level, and that deeper level again could be somebody else's just going down 2 steps. But for me, it was a real big shift of seeing that there is so much possibility, and what does calmness actually mean? There's a whole new stillness and depth to it and groundingness for myself that allows me to hear my intuition much louder. It allows me to be in such a calming energy, and the drive behind my energy is not one of chasing insecurities. It's not feeling that there's a scarcity. There's not a panic mind. There's none of this rushing or chasing things. Now the calmness is speaking. Now the calmness is in the driving seat, and it is showing up, and it's writing that email. It's speaking to the person. It's having those difficult conversations. The calmness is that driving force. And this is where you can allow the calmness to be the one who's going to own the situation and mold that situation to the way it supports you, as opposed to our emotions and panic thoughts and all the insecurities and the anxiety jumping in and trying to take over the situation because it feels like I need to respond. This is not going to turn out nice otherwise. So now we switch it, and the calmness is going to be in the driving seat. It's going to show up in all those situations first. It's the first to enter the room, and it's going to stand there grounded, a bit like a bodyguard in a room. To be honest, that's how your calmness is going to be. It's going to be so rooted inside, and it's going to be there supporting you. You're going to know you're protected and you're safe in those moments. When you have people who want to complain and be unkind or have unpleasant things to say and want to maybe create an argument, and you show up with this calmness, this speaks differently. You are able to see the whole situation unfolding, but also see through it that this is just their insecurities speaking, and I don't need to go back and forth with these conversations. I get to choose, do I want to sit? Do I want to respond? Because now the calmness has taken over. There is no panic force here because you would have addressed them. And now they cannot interfere and waver you and suck you into a different space where you're going to be reacting to a space that you didn't want to be in. And then you might regret it afterwards. And you feel like, why on earth did I even bother? Now you're already making that decision at the beginning because your calmness is allowing to see this whole space. And the calmness gets to decide that. And a lot of the times, even for myself, I've decided that this space isn't valuable enough for me to spend my energy on. It just seems so petty and little that I don't need to spend my energy here. If I wanted to spend my energy and my mental capacity, I don't want to waste it here. And you'll just be able to decide that from a very content and grounded space, because the calmness is making that decision for you. The calmness is able to see that. You'll be taking your power back in this space. And it's not to say you won't speak up where it's needed, but you get to decide, what does that look like for me? And we all have our insecurities. It all playing out. We'll be able to decide that, do I want to bring my insecurities to the table and then have a battle between me and the other person's insecurities and turn it to a meaningless argument? Am I really going to waste my time here? Is it worthy of me to be using my energy like this? And your calmness will easily make that decision for you, and you'll be so content with whatever it has to share. There will be times where you feel like you're in and out of this. The urge was so strong and I couldn't control the situation, or it was a new situation. These are those moments where we get to train ourselves. Unfortunately, yes, it is those moments. When you're in those moments, that's the best place you're going to be trained to get through this, get to that next level. And there might be days where you succeed, and other days you might just take that one-step process. But this is where you need to have the right mindset of, do I judge myself and put myself down that, oh, I didn't react to the way I wanted. I don't like what the person said. It threw me off. I reacted in an emotional way, and now I look even more worse. Or do you say, okay, I made that one-step process. Maybe I could start to see the situation, but I still reacted. But I saw the situation. I could see it unfold. I could see the insecurities at play. I could see my own insecurities showing up. There's still that 1% progress still happened. And you have to say, okay, I'm only going to focus on this one-step process that I've made. And that's enough. And the next time, I'm going to react differently. And next time, I'm going to keep training myself. I'm going to allow the calmness to speak and make the best decision for me, because it's always going to make the best decision, and it's always going to work out for your good. Because we feel like, oh no, if I'm calm, how can I be calm in such a situation and get the best result out of this? that is a limiting thinking, because you are only relying on, I need to be the loudest person, I need to have my thoughts put across. There will be more possibilities and wonders that you haven't maybe allowed your calmness to show you yet. So allow it to show you those wonders. Intention setting can be really powerful for the anxious person, but also because we are so used to writing out our to-do list, but we never set out an intention list. What is the energy that I want to show up and do this work? A lot of the time it is, I don't have time. How am I going to fit this all in? This makes me stressful. Maybe there's a few things I want to change around on my to-do list because I don't want to do this task, and that one I have been avoiding and I still avoiding it. It's been on my list for months, and this one doesn't make me feel good. There's so many thoughts that are driving us about our to-do list and the energy behind it, and you want to change this. You want to show up with a different energy. This is where you can train yourself to show up in that calm energy. What would the calmness do in this situation? How would the calmness speak? How would the calmness isn't all about doing nothing, saying nothing, being quiet, being polite. I think I probably would have resonated or associated those words with calmness before. But now I would say it has so much groundedness. It gives me more power. It gives me more awareness. It gives me more space to play with. It feels like I'm on a playing field and I get to choose what I want to do in that day. What game am I going to play? What energy am I going to show up in? What fun am I going to have? Calmness is that playing field. It's so huge and expansive, and it's allowing me to do whatever I want. So understand, what does calmness mean for you at this moment, and how do you want it to show up for you? Because that will allow you to choose the energy that you want to show up in when you're setting your intention for the day. I want to approach this with these feelings in mind. I want to embody this. I want to approach this email with calmness, knowing that I know the right words to say. I know what the response I'm expecting, and I know I can write it all what I need to say, and it can be done in a few moments, and I don't need to drag it out any longer. The calmness is giving me that security and knowing that I am going to have the best outcome. I know how to express myself. It is that knowing and space of being guided. Because in the state of calmness, I'm not having thoughts such as time is running out. I am stressed. This is stressing me out. There's so much work pressure. I'm not going to succeed. I'm going to be failing at this. This never works out. Calmness does not allow these thoughts to sit in there, because it has already preoccupied your body cells with this new energy that is telling it, this is all going to work out for my good. Just wait and watch that this is all going to work out for my good. And this calm energy gets to create the ripple effects, because if you're doing everything from a panic state, what do you think the ripple effects are going to be? So why not do it from a calm state and see what those ripple effects are going to do? Before starting any challenging task, the one you have been procrastinating about for months, tune into your calmness. What does that space of groundedness, of knowing that it's all working out, what does that feel like? And then go do the challenging task, because the outcome is going to be very different. And the more you do this, the more it becomes your normal. At the moment, our normal is very different. Our normal is very reactive. Our normal is very stressful. Our normal is to approach stress with stress. When you're speaking to somebody who wants to find the wrong in every little thing, and you speak to that person with your calmness, it flips the whole situation. It even flips the other person, because they don't know how to react and respond to you, because you're so steady and grounded in yourself. So when you start with the mental state, it's going to seep into your emotional state, and you don't have to do anything physically, because it automatically projects out. And this is how you're going to be seen. This is how people are going to perceive you. They're going to feel so calm around you. They're going to feel like, I don't know, but there is a good energy about this person. And even the words and how they say it. It could be the same words that somebody else has said, but the way this person has said it, from their drive and their energy, it means something different. It lands very different. This is where you get to see opportunities and life unfolding very differently for yourself. If you made it to this part of the video, start by What does calmness feel like to me? What did I want it to feel like? What would I want it to look like? If it had to be alive, what would that energy feel like? How would it flow through my veins? How would it feel as I would to sit? How would I walk? How would it feel in my skin and in my body cells? And this is where we can start to embody it, as opposed to thinking I need to be calm. Because many people will tell us, oh, you need to learn to be calm, you need to relax more, you need to not take things so seriously. Those are just words. You want your body to understand, what does this level of calmness look like for you? What would you define it as for yourself? Not what the dictionary says, not what other people tell you, but if you had to create your own definition and your relationship to calmness. And if you wanted to do some inner work, then I would like to give you that if your calmness, your desired state of calmness, had a voice, what piece of advice would it give you today, where you are in this moment? What is that piece of advice it would give you that could make that 2% change in your life? And write it out, because in the head, it gets cluttered. And there's nothing more powerful than a pen and paper and having those words written by your hand expressed on paper. Remember, there's no limit to what you desire. And don't try to fit into the norms of the social expectations and understandings of how your calmness needs to be or how you need to shift for your journey and your growth. As long as it helps you and supports you on your journey to level up and see that greatness within you, that's all that matters. I appreciate you. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.